and if it's good enough for John Wayne, it's good enough for me.
In the bad Old West, shooting a bullseye through a poker card from 20 feet away was considered a handy conversational tool. Badlands Bill shows the ace of hearts no mercy. One more time.
There it is. It's actually a pretty cool tear. Look at that.
I don't think he would have survived.
Now, Dr. Oglesby prepares to take his meds apart.
Okay.
Can you even see that from back there?
No, but it's all right.
The one that you can't see, aim for that.
Man, that is one tiny little...
Bam. Nice.
If you needed any proof that this shot was overkill, here it is. Now for some bigger game. A lollipop. There's no point in wondering if Bill can make the shot. It's seeing what these things look like as they go down. And we mean down.
Now that was pretty cool. Little head just rolled right off.
Shot him in the neck.
That was cool as hell. Did the head just hang there for a second?
But at least one life was spared. The second camera angle catches a bit of drama in the microcosmos. Look closely above and to the left of the lollipop. Notice anything? Yep, a bug going about a bug's business. And a bullet, well, doing the same.
Oh, whoa!
Looks good.
But enough of Fortune's slings and arrows.
You guys want to put another one up?
Yeah, please.
We don't have all day for this sucker. This time, the candy goes Nova.
Ooh, but that is such a sweet shot.
Oh, wow.
Gosh dang. That was like the Big Bang.
Absolutely.
Carl Sagan would have loved that shot.
He was big into shooting lollipops?
Carl Sagan? Oh yeah, Bill does have doctor in front of his name, and now he decides he wants to actually show off a little bit.
What I do, I position the mirror this way and this way to get my sights lined up.
There comes a day for every academic gunslinger to take a good, hard look in the mirror.
Over your shoulder like
Yep.
this?
Backwards, completely backwards.
For Badlands Bill Oglesby, today is that day. Now, it's one thing to hit a can of pop at 20 paces by shooting backwards over your shoulder, but how about
10 cans here in a row. So is that going to be tough enough?
This way?
Okay, now stay right there. Let me look in the mirror.
How do you look?
You guys are unbelievable.
You really gonna be able to do this? Come on now. Let's be serious about it.
Yeah, this will get done on the first shot.
That's what I like to hear. I wish we'd work that way.
the cameras are all set?
Okay, we ready? Okay. All right.
You're ready.
When can I shoot?
You can shoot now.
What was, to the naked eye, a chaotic explosion now becomes clear. The bullet entered at a slightly sloping angle. It tore straight through the first 5 pop cans before driving down against the wooden board and veering slightly left, escaping on the far side of the remaining cans. Meanwhile, those cans appear to be floating. The pressure from the bullet has blown the board downward. The board bounces back up, knocking the cans off their feet. And the carbonated shockwave continues outward. Round 2.
Everyone's ready? Whenever you're ready.
Nice.
That's pretty amazing. This is completely through the center, right? Through both ends, right through the middle. Amazing.
Say, let's go.
Let's go check it out.
From the beginning, this is definitely a more direct hit.
That's awesome.
I think that looks good myself. I seen it on TV. I was. Look at that.
We agree. Now remember, this is a bullet shot from a rifle resting on Bill's shoulder while he looks into a mirror set 20 paces from the pop cans. But despite Bill's laser straight aim, the bullet loses velocity with each soda it meets. The succession of impacts and liquid inside the cans caused the bullet to veer off course after the 6th soda.
The fact that it went through 6 is pretty clear that you hit it almost dead center on the first one, and it slowly curved its way out.
Cool, cool technology, guys.
Cool shooting.
Tex?
Badlands.
Badlands, there you go.
Badlands, Bill?
Okay.
Now, we couldn't let Bill leave without one last card trick.
The edge of the card.
At 1/100th of an inch thick, the edge of a playing card is practically invisible.
There it is.
Okay, I was aiming on the wrong side.
Well, that just about tears it.
Good night.
By the time we've grown up, most of us have learned to stop playing with our food.
Bacon and eggs.
With a few rare exceptions. For Matt, it's all part of his high cholesterol diet and high speed obsession.
Your own hand.
For Jim Stump and John Mayer, playing with food is a way of life.
Yeah, that worked well.
They're the Feasty Boys. And together, we're about to turn the Time Warp Studios into Martha Stewart's second worst nightmare.
Well, this is basically our 4 food groups here. Bacon, butter, better not forget the cheese.
A recipe for slow death that we'll film in high speed to reveal all of its tasty goodness.
Let's cook some butter.
Let's throw some butter on there. Go for it.
About like that.
Now, not everyone feels the need to butter up the pan before adding the bacon, but they're not the Feasty Boys.
There you go.
I can hear my arteries closing.
A sizzling hot grill, glittering, saturated fat sliding gently. Ooh. Now, we hate to mess with perfection, but bring home the bacon.
The rivers
of flavor falling off the side.
I was a little nervous coming here today thinking you guys might influence my appetite with viewing this stuff in slow motion, and I wanted even more. This is really
slow
cool.
motion only helps the appetite.
Makes me more hungry.
Where do we go from here?
Bacon and cheese.
Don't ask.
John, if you'll cut your cheese.
Glad you guys are on that side of the
Now,
table.
the trick to this is forgetting the bread. You really want to layer that cheese on thick.
At this point, Jeff, Matt, and the Feasty Boys have thrown out the menu
What are you doing?
and are just looking for cool things to film at over 300 times slower than normal speed. Know what this is? Think hard. Yep, popcorn.
That's 10,000 frames per second.
And that's moisture in the kernel rapidly turning to steam that's creating the explosive and tasty blossom we know as popcorn.
You know, it just stayed right there on the surface.
Yeah, but this thing is jumping still 4 inches high, you know? It's just
Yeah, it's just going
taking
so
its time.
slow, right? And look at
That
the
is
oil
awesome.
that's flying off of it.
So remember, butter, bacon with cheese, and popcorn. Our last slow-mo trick requires we shake up, open, and waste a perfectly good beer. As close to an original sin as the Feasty Boys can imagine. Yes! You Warpies out there will certainly remember our bullwhip buddy, Adam Winrich. Like Sharpshooter Bill, Adam had his own special way of destroying pop cans, starting fires, and courting friendship.
That's a little closer than you said it was going to be.
It was also with Adam that we first became acquainted with the Schlieren imaging system. Schlirren is the German word for streaks, as in streaks of air. The Schlirren process captures minute changes in the air patterns surrounding matter.
All we gotta do is have you get right at the target, and we'll be able to see everything.
Let's check to see. Okay. Give it up for playback.
Nice, you got it.
Time Warp's high-speed camera shooting through the Schlirren system confirmed that a snap of Adam's bullwhip creates a sonic boom. Let's see that again. The curved line ahead of the whip is actually an image of the sound barrier breaking. After Adam left the laboratory, our boy stuck around to shake it up with the Schlirren and hang out with MIT professor Jim Bales.
By setting up this system, we can see very small changes in density, changes caused by a fraction of a degree in the air temperature, and we'll see how the light is bent.
We're going to introduce this mind-bending Schlirren to some of the classic objects of our affection. Bubbles, bullets, and balloons. First up, bubbles. We previously documented the beauty of a bursting bubble in slow-mo. Behold the bubble, seen with the Schlirren system, for a totally new perspective. The effects of the inert gases on the bubble surface are now visible.
Yeah, it's very much like some faraway planet or something. It's so cool when it's dripping out, how much it influences currents all over the bubble.
And the burst?
After the pop, there's definitely some kind of temperature, pressure wave coming off there.
That one's easy. It looks like there's a temperature difference because I'm full of hot air. That's my breath. It's warmer in the room. You see the difference when you pop the bubble and you let that warmer air come out.
So we're just seeing that finally get a chance to escape.
You got it.
Watch them again side by side. Two different glimpses of the same unseen world. Remember Olympic skeet shooter Sean McClelland?
All right, so we get all the balloons on this one.
Okay.
Yep, bye.
Here we illustrated shotgun pellets taking out a gaggle of balloons. Very cool at warp speed, but what happens to the escaping helium? At the Schlirren lab, we can show you.
There it is. And there it goes. Look at that.
Right when it punctures through, you can see the shock wave go through the whole outside. You see that, and then you start to see it outgas the helium, and it's just, I mean, it looks like it goes on fire.
Escaping helium creates air turbulence the way flames do. Turbulence that's normally invisible to the naked eye. Now, we just showed you what a speeding bullet looks like. But time warping through Schlirren gives us an entirely new angle.
All right, we're about to load the rifle. Eyes and ears on.
Now let's see if there isn't more to marvel at in the sight of a speeding bullet courtesy of the Schlirren.
We are loaded. 1, 2, 3.
At the top, a bullet in regular slow motion. At bottom, a slow motion bullet that's also been processed through the Schlirren. Watch as the bullet literally deforms the atmosphere. These curved lines are formed by hot and compressed air flowing around it, much like water around the bow of a boat. Again, we are literally seeing air under pressure, an amazing glimpse into a corner of our natural world that once was invisible.
We normally slow things down that are really hard to see, but here we're actually seeing something that's totally invisible, making it visible.
Would it be safe to say that with this setup, that we can see a fraction of refraction, catch the action for maximum compaction, and my feet have killer traction?
What goes around, comes around. Case in point, Eric Darnell. He is the inventor of a kind of postmodern take on the boomerang. Why 3 blades? Greater lift, easier to catch, and engineered for novice boomers like our Matt and Jeff. Okay, class, loosen up.
Yep, I like it.
What I'm going to do is throw them both simultaneously and try to catch them both. They'll follow different paths but arrive at the same point. Degree of difficulty, it's about a 12 out of 10.
This is the big show-off move.
Yeah.
12 out of 10?
Okay.
Can't we start with something simple?
Do you think?
Today? If there's no wind, I believe him.
Today's a hard day to do this. It's like he's going into meditation.
Don't let your left hand know what your right hand...
A little low.
Oh, sorry.
You do it.
What is he?
He's doing that. That's probably the toughest part.
Come on.
There it is.
Now let's get warped. With our high-speed cameras, we'll see how an expert throws.
Why would you choose to use a pinch grip versus, the full hand grip?
Well, I threw everything full hand grip, and I taught myself to throw a pinch grip because I was hurting my elbow by throwing so much.
Okay, so it is just because of that strain.
Yep. That's beautiful shots.
Here you have this boomerang that's spinning as it goes, right? So if you really look at the perspective from the ground, this wing is moving a lot faster than this one, because this one's moving against the direction it's generally going. So you're going to get differential lift from one wing to the other, and that's going to cause this precession and make it come all the way around. And that makes this more complicated than a plane. This is more complicated than a plane or a helicopter.